Hello, everybody. This is Masood Nayab for Kazam Comics. I am working on the second issue of The Black Raven. It's The Black Raven, Nevermore versus the Grim Reaper. Oops, sorry about that. What I'm going to work on today is the title page. And for the title page, cover page, I am basically going to, excuse me, I've just woken up. Use elements that I have already drawn and composite them for the cover page to make the process a little easier. So let's just start off with some text. So I think serif is the way to go, so sans serif. So I'm going to keep that the as a separate element, and then I'm going to keep I'm going to just tick off on that so it can become its own rasterized image, and then I'm going to say make that a separate element. Please humor me, we'll make it tighter, keep them together soon. So the Black Raven, Nevermore, because it is inspired by Edgar Allan Poe. And then a separate element here, verse, tick off on that, and create an element called the Grim Reaper. So I'm just going to put this in the corner of my margin and play around with fonting and text as we get to it. But I will show you, so you're not bored, what elements I will be using from my comic book. So this fellow down here is on the last page. I'm just going to get on the right layer, do a loop-de-loop, copy across, bring him to the front, paste them in, and then put them behind everything else with the texting, and then do another loop-de-loop and rotate them around. I like that angle. That angle is sweet. Trying to keep them within the margins of the book. And away from the text, so it's not so distracting. It's a work in progress, so we can just leave them as is there. I'm going to save that for now. And now I'm going to tighten up some of this wording so that it can be a smaller font than what it is. And remember, I need to make some space in the corner here for the logo of my publishing company called Kazam. So I need to put that about there, and then I'll take this next one and put it about there. I'll actually put it under, put the B underneath that, and then this Nevermore can be a smaller size too. I'm thinking probably around 20. And place him around there. verse. There was a word called verse that I need to find. I've lost the verse. Oh, he's right on my hand. That's funny. So what we can do with verse, you can decrease the size to 15 as well, and see if we can fit him in here somewhere. I think that'll be good for now. So, that's still, you know, very elementary. So we can work on fixing the font styles and that sort of thing. I'm going to say that there's an won't let me. Okay. There's another element from a different page that I need to bring in that I've been working on recently. It's this fellow here. It's the actual Grim Reaper. So I'm just going to see what layer he is on. I'm still working on that car, as you can tell. So I still need to keep some space up there available for the logo of the comic book company. But I still want to increase the size of the Grim Reaper so he looks like he's closer to him, and he looks like he's going to inflict more damage to the Black Raven. But in doing so, it's all about layout. I want to angle that so his sigh is not so much in the text, so people can identify that sigh. And that's my basic layout. So the point is, you can draw this by scratch, but if you've already drawn it, you can save yourself some time and just use elements that you've already rendered yourself, and that way you can save yourself a whole day's worth of work. So let's go back to the texting to just make it look pretty and see what I can get away with. So because it is a cover page, I'm not going to use a border frame and lock it in. I'm going to let the border go all the way to the bleed margins. So it's not locked up in a window, so we're good on that regard. So this is looking easier than I had anticipated. So first things first, let's find a decent font for this guy. So you can go all the way down to the bottom and find something that's close to the style that you want. Nope. But, you know, I'm just doing that as an example. Nope. I can do it by hand. I have a style that I might use later on, but for academic purposes, let's use what's already available. That's getting close. I mean, if I'm desperate, that's maybe what I'll use. And I might be consistent all throughout the different issues, so you gotta be very careful with what you choose. Because it could be like a logo, it could be there for a very long time, if you're lucky. Well, at least we have a benchmark. If you hear any music in the background, my son is in the sunroom behind my office playing an Ibanez solid body acoustic guitar. I mean, sorry, electric guitar that I got him about 4 months ago. It's actually got better magnets than mine. See, that's not bad. See, what would you do if that one, if you actually had that as a bold, you're close to getting what you, it's just not wide enough. So that might be it, but we'll keep looking. We're about the halfway point. Close. You gotta know what you're looking for. That ain't bad. It's a tie between Lithos and Hobo so far. That ain't bad either. But the thing is, it's sans serif. So you don't want. See, that's sans serif too, but that's the style I'm looking for. You want something that's serif. Yeah, no. Lithos and Hobo so far. Fatboy Slim. Nice. It's not legible. So, Lithos, Hobo, and Fatboy Slim. I'm so glad these are so easy to remember. So if the styling became more modernized, you would go to that. See, that just doesn't look clean though. That's a good one. It's just too modern. Clean enough. So we get to the top. That's good, but I think it's sans serif. comics one looks good. That looks awesome. It's the one you use for the actual text of the comic book, but that looks nice. Again, sans serif. Try Arial. That's it. So I'm going back to Hobo, because I am one. Boom. And then after Hobo, leave it like that for now. And then with this one, there was one I remember after Hobo. I've forgotten the name now. We'll have to look into. I like that. Mythos, that was it. Mythos was the other one I was looking for, yeah. That fits in pretty well. So it's a Greek writing for Mythos. So let's just not play around with that because you guys are getting bored. Alright. And then we could also look at sizing and whatnot. So that's all good for now. And that's my basic cover. So I'm gonna bring this other vector file down here. And you know what I'm gonna do? I'm just going to start doing some coloring in of the characters. Because you guys can use this for therapy and watch me color in. So the original file, I had him like in a very, very dark purple. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, because these are all alpha channels on these vector files, I'm just going to create another raster file underneath it for the coloring in. And I'm gonna go to town. I just took a break there to have some orange juice and made my voice, oh sorry, apple juice, so my voice doesn't sound so coarse for you people. I'll try to be more positive and pitch the tone of my voice like this if you want, but that'll be a lot more effort for me. Alright. So under the pen tool, there should be some brushes. Where the hell are all the brushes on this thing? Ah. So that's watercolor, that's thick paint. I always use the thick paint. Alright, let's just use the pen apply. I use a lot of felts on Bristol board, but it seems to take in quite a lot of the actual color into the paper. So the point I'm making is I've been told I need to go to something called blending card paper, and then it'll look a lot more nice. Alright, just delete that file because clearly that file may not be in color. I'm just go layer, new raster file, and delete that as well. Go the long way. Give me the option. Monochrome. Ooh. All those blending mode options. We were just talking about that blending card paper. So now that we're in this layer, let's see. Let's just do like the flats. See what the flats look like, and that may be too dark. So they always say, people like Al Sinclair say, always start with your light areas and then move towards your flats. So I'm thinking, how light though? Please excuse the messiness of this, I can always clean it up later. See, a lot of people, they use the lasso tool and fill it in, but I don't find that therapeutic. So what I'm going to do there is I'm going to just create some exposed area like that we can keep on a lighter tone. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? As Oasis would say. That's all I can do at the moment on the flats. I'll show you what he looked like in the original asset file that I created for this particular drawing. If I can go into my projects. It's in the cloud. See how dark he was? So I don't want him going all that dark, because that was a night scene. This is a night scene too. I need to line it up. People could sort of see what he looks like. So here, in these trapezoids as well, maybe. So do I need to say please like, share, and subscribe? Because I'm not doing this for the money, but I've been doing 2 comic books so far, and I forgot to do this recording as you go, as I was creating the comic book. But I'm just doing it for your therapy, because a lot of people that I'm watching, I can't mention their names off the top of my head. I'm not really going through anything at the moment, like, mentally. But I am pretty burnt out, so this is like my pornography, man. Watching other artists draw and really enjoying watching them draw really relaxes me. So I'm just trying to give something back to the community. So it's not about monetization, because those other 2 comic books that I did are making good money. American Patriot, issue 1, you'll find on Amazon, and the first issue of the Black Raven. So I'm not expecting to make money from this. I'm just expecting you guys to appreciate my work and just say like it and subscribe and share it, so that other people can encourage me to keep going. Because I will do pieces purely for commission on this YouTube channel, but for the most part I will be working like this on an actual comic book, so that I'm doing something productive, and at the same time you guys are enjoying the experience of it all as I'm writing or rendering a book. Damn, this is the sort of stuff I do with felts, and actually it's better here than it does on paper. Paper on the Bristol board looks messy. And that blending card paper was recommended to me by a good friend of mine. Her name is Sam. She works in the art supply shop, and her and I studied photography together, and I took her photo for photography, which her photo, or my photo actually, of her actually won a lot of awards in the state. So her and I always catch up, and I always see her at the the art supply shop, and she's so knowledgeable. I was mentioning to her best friend, who's also an acquaintance of mine by the name of Ebony. I said, Sam is so knowledgeable on giving you the right materials and giving you the right pens. And she's like, well, what? And then Ebony was like, so what's your experience been at the more professional art supply shops? And I was like, they don't even know what they're talking about. So you go to the big city, you go to capital city, which is Brisbane here, Queensland, Australia, and people don't care. You're like, I need this and I need that, and they just shrug their shoulders and go, hey man, don't talk to me, I just work here, I don't know what we sell. Whereas you go to a local small art supply shop, and people like Sam know their shit. So I prefer to work on paper. Only reason I'm doing this, and don't worry about this mess here, it's on a different layer, I'll clean up the Grim Reaper. The only reason I'm doing this is quicker, because I'm trying to meet deadlines. Because for these things, even I have deadlines. Like today is Saturday, but it's a long weekend because of Easter. So by rights I shouldn't even be working here in my study, but the kids have hogged up all the living rooms with their Xboxes and their PlayStations. So this is why I'm here working. And yesterday was Good Friday, and I took a break around lunchtime because my wife was not feeling well, so I had to drive her to the shops to get some groceries. And then I made a big meal for lunch. But today I'm not cooking. And because I'm not cooking, I'm going to spend more time here. Please excuse me as I have a sip of apple juice. Everything's been so dry in my mouth, and I don't think I'm coming down with anything, but it just seems that way. So this guy's purple, or this sort of color, lavender color, and I've got another character by the name of Shaitan that I'll ink for you guys in a different video, and he is more of a purple because he's basically a demonic sort of Mephistopheles, Baal kind of creature. So he's more of a hot pink because he came from hell and he's hot. See what I did there? Don't worry about this mess here. I'm gonna clean it all up with an eraser. I'm using a Wacom 13. Had the opportunity to buy a proper Cintiq, but I'll buy a Cintiq if I can monetize all of this, just not from the YouTube side, which I'm not planning to, like I said, but from all the publication work I'm doing. So I'm going to go darker with the purple on his helmet because it's a different material to his body. It's, you know, it's like a protective gear. What do you think, guys? Is it coming along? Please comment where you can. I don't mind negative comments too. People have usually been very nice to me on YouTube because I've got another channel called Gizmos, Gadgets and Gear, and I'm just basically giving people information about my penchant for watches, not necessarily all Swiss. Got quite a few Swiss ones, but I like to buy a lot of Timex and a lot of, like, you know, my wife always buys me Loris watches, so I review everything. And people are like, thanks for the heads up, because I was going to buy that watch, so I appreciate your informed sort of advice as a consumer who already has that particular product. Also shoes. I've actually got some Transformers, some Masterpiece Transformers I need to review on that Gizmos, Gadgets and Gears. And is with a sign, not with the word and, but with the sign and. But the point I'm making is, I didn't even have time to do this. So I really need to make some time, or steal some time. Because a few friends of mine who are encouraging me this comic book stuff, they're like, you need to review all those replica guns that you have in storage in your collection case. I'm like, okay, I'll get around to it eventually. So I could have just inked this with scratch for you guys, but then, you know, that would have been a longer video. So I thought I'd just do this. Put this stuff up on Instagram too, because I was talking to a chick a couple years back, and she's like, "You really need to put this stuff on Instagram." And then my oldest daughter's doing visual arts at uni, and she's like, "Yeah, you need to create your own Instagram channel for this." She has. My daughter's got her own Instagram channel for her visual arts stuff from university. She's creative, but she's not really as technical as I am when it comes to anatomy. What the hell? Well, for a minute I was losing my vector lines. That's not what I want. That's not what I want at all. Oh, that's why that keeps on happening. I'm on the wrong eraser. That's what she said. Egg on my face. Alright then. Oh, and that's why it was taking so long to process too, because I was chunking through all those vector lines. Silly me. Well, seriously, I need to do this cover page. I was just going to do it, or inking of one page of Shaitan for you guys, just for academic purposes. The demon dude, but I was like, yeah, I actually got some work to do. So why don't I just do some work and record it at the same time? And then I can actually say I got something done. So next video I'll just do the front page of the comic, which I already started on paper, so I'll show you guys what it looked like on paper, because that's scanned in behind it, and we didn't do a very good job with the pencils, and my wife did a terrible job with the ink. She's very slack when she's doing inking for me, but when she's doing her henna tattoos, she's taking a lot more care and being considerable, so I think she's deliberately trying to sabotage my work. Whereas my eldest daughter is really good at inking, so my wife needs to show the same level of diligence as she does when she does her henna tattoos when she's doing my inking, but I think she deliberately likes to make me angry. So I botched the pencils, my wife botched the inks, so that's why I decided to scan it all in on a professional scanner and just go digital. But we did that comic book maybe about, I don't know, 9 months ago. So since then we've been quite busy with life. But I just keep on saying to her, you gotta take it as seriously as taking your henna tattoos. You're putting quite a lot of time and your henna tattoos, but you're rushing all the comic book inking stuff for me. And if you don't want to do it, that's fine, because I'll do it, or my eldest daughter will do it. My son is more than capable of doing it, but he's not showing any interest at the moment. Alright, so that's enough of the cleanup job for now. So, I'm going to use like a, not a light, but a burgundy sort of red for the cape. The good thing about doing that is I cover up the drawing in the background. Sorry, I'm zoning out. That's why I'm not talking. I'm actually using a very cheap mic on a headset right now. It's a bit of a mess on my desk. I do have a blue Yeti here, and two of my kids have got blue Snowball mics. And I've even got a nice Baum one from Germany that does a really good trick for podcasting and stuff. See, starting to put more life into this character. Like I said, I'm zoning out and enjoying myself, so just thinking of the Cable Guy movie I made my 16-year-old son watch last night, because he's a bit of a psycho like Jim Carrey was in that movie, and he loved it. My son absolutely loved that movie. He was like, this is so relatable. Because it's in the shadow, I'm just going to make his underwear the same color. Ah! I've done a mistake with real pens before. There's going to be a graphic novel, which I've already started. on some different software about the background of how this guy becomes the Black Raven. It's called Dog Eat Dog. I'm doing it on Manga Studio Executive 4. So bear with me while I get that thing to market. So yeah, I'm just meditating while I'm coloring in. Really don't know what more to say. You guys are probably sick and tired of my coarse voice anyway. Coarse voice. That almost rhymes. The gloves I'm gonna have to make a brighter red. So they can stand out from the cape. So clearly, you need to fill that in a little bit more because it was opaque. And you can see the drawing behind. So let's go back to this and bring it in even further. I like it. I like it a lot, as they say in Dumb and Dumber. not gonna ink around this. I'll just blacken it. Go with that whole Frank Miller Sin City vibe, which my Dog Eat Dog comic book will be like. It's really coming along, isn't it? That's what she said. So I will add other layers of color on top of this to give it more detail, because it is the front cover. So I'm not just going to color it like the rest of the pages of the comic book. There'll be layers upon layers. I'm trying to put as many layers in now to or colors in one layer, so then I don't make the file size too big. Because you can handle it on a computer like this because it's a tower, but if you're doing it on my MacBook, it might struggle. Or even if you're doing it on an iPad Pro, it will definitely struggle. People say, oh, iPad Pros are great, they can do everything, they can launch a rocket into the moon. No, they can't. Okay, we got a regular iPad that I do this comic book work on, and I have an iPad Pro, and nah, not much difference to be. If you're working multiple layers of vector files, or even this stuff, it will struggle on an iPad Pro. So what color should I make the Grim Reaper's clothing? Let's put some skin on this Black Raven guy to begin with. What color skin should I give him? That might work, it's nighttime. He's a white guy. One could even argue he's pretty fly for a white guy. See what I did there? That's like a matte color. That's for shading. He's not Asian, but okay. I'm happy with that. But on the next layer, I'll give them some like shadow, like 12 o'clock shadow with some sort of like spray paint or whatever. But I'm gonna do it now. I basically blended 1, 2, 3 colors there and a different color for his lips. So let's just leave it. Alright. That's that. He is done on the same layer, just to save space. Thinking, because it's nighttime, I'm not gonna make the Grim Reaper's clothing too grey. I'm gonna make it green. Maybe I'll have to create a new layer. Make that vector file. But I have to create that layer color. I'm gonna stick to this green because I can put a darker green on top of it. This has been fun, by the way, guys. I've been inking and penciling all week, so to get to do this and just have fun with colors, that's been really, really entertaining for me. Because so much inking you can do, and penciling and technical drawings. I don't want to do this with a lasso tool. Where's the fun in that? Kills all the fun. I should actually be looking at my Wacom 13 while doing this, but for some reason I keep on referring to the big widescreen TV, widescreen monitor. So I'll switch it around now and spend more time looking at this. Go back to the other layer and actually gray. Start coloring in these blades. Now that's done. Back to business. Yeah, I think it makes this part, because it is a composite, having two different color layers a better idea. So then, you can just work around things and not have to worry about destroying what you've done on a previous character. Computer can handle it. My MacBook can handle it too. I wouldn't recommend it on an iPad. iPad Pro my ass. Might have to darken that grey a bit for the skull. Because he's wearing a hood. I like that. I'll add more layers to it and shading, but that's a good base color. I'll increase it a little bit for the exposed bones. I think I need to increase a little bit more. Yeah, that works. darken that top rib a little bit. And half the middle rib. And then fix all the color problems. Alright. Let's just drop background. To see what it looks like. Yeah, that works. So, that's pretty much it. It's coming on to midday now. I started at 10 o'clock. I might just do a little bit more work for now on the text. See what other options we had in the potentially this could be the Grim Reapers. You know what I mean? that's it for today, guys. I will add more stuff to it and add more layers to the colors tomorrow being Sunday. And but while I'm here, I'll give you guys a tour of what I've done so far. This is the page 1, page 2, which I did in pencils recently and my wife inked. Then I'm going to digitize it and start over again with the inking process. Page 3, page 4, page 5. I'll just get rid of the references. Page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9, page 10, page 11, page 12, page 13, which I showed you before. And the rest are just doodles. Apart from page 24 and page 23 and page 24. So I hope you enjoyed. It's coming along. I'll record every page for you as I continue to work on it, and we'll go from there. Hope this has been fun for you as it has been for me. This is Masood signing off for Kazam Comics. At the moment we're only on Amazon, but we will make our way slowly into Indie Planet.